job.
For life, okay. Call our meeting to order. Please stand and join me for the pledge of allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday, September 25th regular commission meeting. I will open our meeting with public comment on any subject that's not on the agenda is within the jurisdiction of the county commission. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment?
Can I add some announcements?
You may.
It will be on our agenda that comes out in the paper, but October 2nd, we're having an evening commission meeting at Headwaters Livestock Auction Yards, and it will be a wide variety of topics, updates from different department heads. We are able to live stream that, and if something does go wrong with the live stream, it will be recorded. Ken went down there, so all is good. But October 2nd, 6 p.m. And then we do have some board openings. We have a solid waste position open on that board, museum board, and parks and rec. I think that's everything.
Yes.
So if you're interested, please let us know. Those are really great, fun working boards, and they don't meet that often. So we need some help on those boards. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and move on to our first agenda item, discussion decision, airport zoning regulations permit application. I'll handle that one. All right. So a little bit of history first. I guess there is a request from the city of Townsend to build a water tower up by the airport. It's going to be over 50 feet in height, so it requires a permit per resolution that was signed by the city and the county. I'll get the right date. In March of 2004, enforcing any type of would create a hazard in the zoning district in the area around the Townsend Airport. So we never had a permit for doing such a thing until the request was made now. So Kaylin has graciously created that, and that's what we'll be discussing today, whether we want to adopt or approve and adopt this permit. I think maybe, Eric, you're here. You want to talk a little bit about that? Sure you do. Tell us what's going on and where you're at in the process.
We put the project. Oh, you want me up here?
You got it. Yeah. And you got to speak into the mic too. Sorry.
Speak into the mic. Okay. I'll pretend it's Sunday morning. So anyway,
Say and spell your name, please.
my name is Eric Crush, and then it's CRUSCH.
I forgot to give the instructions. Sorry.
I need lots of instructions too. So anyway, yeah, we're going to be putting a water tower hopefully up by the fairgrounds. We actually opened it up to bid last Friday, had a bunch of contractors, did a bunch of walkthroughs on that. So hopefully we can get that done and approved so we can have a sustainable water source in town. So one that'll last and keep going forward. So
All right, good.
yeah.
Any idea when construction may start? I mean, you probably got to go out to bid and different things.
Yeah, the bids are open until I believe it says October 15th.
Okay.
And then hopefully maybe we can start in the fall, but we all know it's Montana, so probably not, but for sure in the spring.
Okay.
So
Very
yeah.
good. Perfect. I think that's all we needed to know. Thank you.
Perfect.
Along with that request, the FAA is required to do they call it termination of no hazard to air navigation. So that has been completed. And what they do is they look at the distance from the, within the airspace from the runway, the height of the structure that could be the hazard, and to make sure that it won't interfere with any of the flight operations around the airport. The one thing that is required is that the new water tower be lit, so it will have lighting on top of it to make sure that it's marked. I guess with that, is there any questions from the commission on this application, permit application that has been created?
I don't have any questions. We got this a couple weeks ago, so we've
Yeah.
had time to review it. And
Mm-hmm.
thank you, Ms. Minor, for the
Yeah.
edits. Looks much better.
Do you expect there to be more, I mean, obviously any buildings that you're saying above 50 feet in height,
Mm-hmm.
pertinent for the water tower, do you expect there to be a lot of these? Not really,
I do not. You know,
just curious.
honestly, anytime you build something of height around the airport, it's always a concern, right? And, but I think that since the FAA has looked at it, and they still got to fill out the permit, and that still has to be approved, and we'll see what the information is that's on that permit, and we'll go from there. So really, this is just, before us is to approve the form.
Chairman Folkboard, may I please be heard?
UMS, you may.
Hi, my name is Kaylin Miner. I'm the Deputy County Attorney. And I did work on this permit application, but there was a slight format adjustment, including the addition of signature blocks to the permit that didn't get, a copy didn't get uploaded to the website. So I just wanted everybody to know, and if the commission would like, Chairman Folkford, if you would like, I can plug in my computer now and we can show them what it looks like with the signature blocks on. The public will know what it looks like exactly. All I added was a name and date block. So there's no substantial
Right.
change, but I wanted to make sure that they did know there would be a slightly different configuration on the page. And also of note, Chairman Folkford, is that really important distinction that on the very first page, which is in all the documents that the community has, it says within the airport critical area or plan to exceed 50 feet. I didn't quite know how the regulation read. I'd read it, but the regulation was vague, and it is in fact or, not and. So it's not a
Right.
dual criteria. It's one or the other.
Yeah, that's actually an
Yeah.
important distinction because the airport critical area is a big boundary
Yes.
around the airport.
Yes.
And
I just want to make sure that everybody knew. Do you want me to post that, sir?
if it's not too big of a
It's not
bother,
too
I
big of a
guess.
deal. It's easy peasy for us. Yep.
Okay, let's do that real quick,
Okay.
just to make sure that there is an opportunity to view that.
Thanks, Daly. I feel like if she plugs hers in first, then it works better.
So what you figured out?
Oh, was that? No.
I'm waiting for that TV to come on. Makes me nervous. Here?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll leave that right there.
Come on.
There you go.
I think I got it.
You change your screen,
I don't usually have to change the screen.
extend it. No? Here comes.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Chairman Folkford,
Yes, go ahead,
would you like me to drive?
please.
Okay, so I just want to show the community right there in between where it says, you know, in parentheses A and in parentheses B, that's where that or language replaced the and language, just so everybody's 100% clear on that. And then when I'm talking about the signature blocks, we have a signature block here on page 2 of 4. And this is where we get the applicant to sign in front of a notary, as we do with other county permits and applications. And of course, it does continue on. We can change that formatting if you wish, but then it goes into the notary block, and that was added. So the signatures are the crux of what was added, Chairman Folkboard, and I just wanted to make sure everybody was clear.
All right, very good, thank you for that, Kay. Any other questions or comments?
I don't have any.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the Broadwater County Airport 8U8 Airport Zoning Regulations Permit Application.
I will second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve the Broadwater County Airport zoning regulations permit application. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Guess we want to
Go back to 3.
change back the agenda, right? Which one is it? This? Yeah. Here, move on. Cool.
Okay, next on our agenda, Broadwater County Search and Rescue Tourism Emergency Response Grant Application. Who's taking that one? Brandon? Okay.
Brandon Harris, the Undersheriff for Broadwater County. Last name Harris. Am I good? All right. Just a little bit of backstory. We're here today to talk about the search and rescue boat. There was a funding opportunity that came up through a grant. A little bit of history. It's 1995. I know Bill and I talked. We thought it was an 83. We actually did find it's a 95. So, but parts are becoming obsolete for it. It's not the motor part. It'd be the jet part of the boat, and we're concerned that if those were ever to fail, that we'd be kind of stuck without a boat. So, I'm going to let Cindy come up after I talk a little bit and talk about some matches and some funding that we have and what they've been saving for. But back to the boat, it's aging. We do get quite a few boat calls out on the lakes from towing boats in to, pretty severe weather events. We all know if that black cloud rolls over the hill. So this is a huge priority for our community and everybody that visits our lake. So the opportunity that came up is the Montana Emergency Tourism Assistance Program. It came from out of the 2023 Montana legislation. They appropriated, it's SB Bill 540. They appropriated $750,000 to eligible applicants would be, which we meet it, would be a rural government, and also eligible projects are search and rescue team supplies and or equipment. And the allocations are a maximum of $75,000, and that's what we are targeting for, is the $75,000 for that grant, and it's due September 30th, 2024. So Cindy Christopherson probably will come up and talk a little bit about the grant. She's been the one heading this project, and she's been doing a fantastic job. So she'll probably come up and talk a little bit about it and kind of where we're at and what needs your guys' approval or signatures and things like that.
So one quick question before you go, Brandon. I mean, we always think about the lake, but that boat has the ability to go upriver if we needed to do something on the river. Is that correct?
Yes. So we would not be getting rid of this boat or, not totally replacing it. Still has life as long as those components are working. Mm-hmm. The river has to be a little bit high. It is a kind of a river / lake boat, but it's, designed as a little bit flatter bottom for the river. We have taken it up the river and searched for people before. So, but it's that early spring weather. This would be a just straight lake boat. That would be able to handle the large waves when everybody's getting off to go out and rescue people. So, some of the history is there's been some calls where we have not been able to put that boat in the water during storms. It's just been too dangerous. Calls that we probably should have turned around. Well, we didn't. Thank God we've saved some lives out there. So, but yeah, it's a very large boat, but disappearing in waves. And, so we're looking for a little bit bigger boat and just something designed a little bit better for the lake use. So,
perfect. Okay, thank you.
So, but, Cindy, you want to come up? Been doing all the hard work.
Yeah.
So, if you
Can you do it? We can take the mic over to you, Cindy. Are you sure?
Stand up, it's getting up.
Okay, all right.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to talk about.
Yeah.
My name is Cindy Christopherson, Christophersen. On the very last page, you should have a draft number 5. We took a stab at what it's costing. We're working at getting a quote from a person to kind of narrow that down. We've had estimates from $130,000 to $170,000. So if you look at the source of funding, we're going to go for all $75,000 from SB 540. By that I mean search and rescue. We have a certificate deposit on right now in the bank for $16,000 that we can donate. We've also talked about our county account 4002, which would have about $49,000. And that leaves us with a balance. We've got to find some from someplace. The sheriff's office said they would throw in maybe $5,000 or so, because they also have the ability to use that in their operations if they would need it, since we do come under the sheriff's office. Then we go to supplemental county funding, because we look for 2 things from you folks. We need a letter of support. Just this morning I got a letter of support from the county sheriff, and I also got one from Lewis and Clark County Sheriff, because we kind of back them up and vice versa if needed. But then Lindsay brought up yesterday also going to the trust board, because they, and I know this person on the trust bed, and there's possibility we could get some money from them. So with all these different avenues, we think we can have the total funding. We just need to, anything in red is what's variable right now. And so I'm trying to kind of solidify that, so when I submit the application this Friday, those amounts will go to black, because but it will still be an estimate. And of course, we haven't presented anything to the trust board, so that would be a guess at what they could possibly. They bought a boat, I think it's the river boat. Is it the riverboat? A few years back, and they funded that for about $20,000. So I'm just going to say maybe $15,000, $20,000 from them, since it does deal with recreation. It has to have some implication with recreation. And then below that is the implementation schedule. Again, I took a shot in the dark from past experience, and would have to go with a solicitation out. Have sealed bids, go through all that, review the RFP, do an analysis of those, of what they meet. I think we could do our basics, and we could also put in optional items. So if there's a couple option items that meet within our funding, we could look at that also. So that bottom part is kind of adjustable, but the application wants us to give them an idea of what we'd be doing.
All right, great, Cindy. You know, I thought it was very interesting in reading the project summary of the number of users that really use the reservoir. I mean, there's a lot of folks. And when there's that many people on the lake, there's always something that's going to happen, right? The other thing, too, that I think maybe a lot of folks don't realize is that probably 2/3 of that lake is under our jurisdiction.
80%.
Yeah, 80%. So that's a lot. And I guess that's just some of the things that I realized by reading that, so thank you for that. Yeah.
Anything else?
Any other questions for Cindy?
She answered my questions,
Yep.
which was going to be about trust board. And
Yeah.
I guess I have, so you have to have this in by Monday?
Yes. Well, it has to be in by 5 o'clock on Monday. I'm going to be gone next week, so I'm shooting for 5 o'clock this Friday.
Gotcha.
And it has to be submitted electronically.
Do you have to have the dollar amounts that are in red confirmed?
No, they are adjustable. And I talked to Rachel Young. She is head of the Montana Department of Commerce, their tourism part that's handling this. And I said, you know, we never know. We don't know, maybe what we get is for $130,000 or maybe it's $170,000. And she said, the source of funding, the basics, and some options. And so to me, the county and the trust board would be our probably two, well, in the sheriff's office, some optional money to fill in what we don't have. And of course, if we end up with not enough money to cover it all, we can back off of the grant and say, no, thank you. Their option, they want to have it awarded, the applications by November 1st. When I talked to her the other day, they had received 19 applications, but many of those applications weren't for the full $75,000. So that's kind of.
And that's the max you can get from the grant?
Yes, yes. That bill is set up for $750,000 annually. So if we get to this, do the boat, and say in a couple of years there's something else for the county, we have another option to go after.
I guess the other option too is they may not award the full 75,000. We have to
Yes.
keep that in mind as well, so. All right. Very good.
If you take out the 49,000 from the search and rescue CIP, do you know what's left in that CIP, or does that?
It basically zero. Yeah.
Yeah, I would just urge you guys to get to the trust board. I
In the
know-
works.
Perfect. I know in the past they bought the boat, and I want to say an ATV or side-by-side years ago or something. So, perfect. Those are my questions.
All right, wonderful, Cindy. Thanks so much for all your hard work.
Thank you, Cindy.
Any other questions or comments? No? Anybody else want to add anything? No? All right, very good. Next on our agenda, TJ Gravely, Public Works Director, service truck. Yes.
I guess maybe before you moved on, Eric Crush, I'm actually the president of Search and Rescue.
Mm-hmm.
I was just curious if we could expect the letter of support for the.
Yes.
Yes? Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
Sorry, I
Perfect.
meant to mention that.
No, I just wanted to make sure. Thank you very much. I
Yeah.
greatly appreciate it.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
yeah. Thanks, Eric, for asking about that.
Good morning, Commissioners. TJ Gravely, Public Works Director, Graveley. So I'm here today to talk to you guys about purchasing a service truck for the junk vehicle program to haul the junk vehicles away back up to the transfer station. Right now, we are using the one that is in the maintenance department to haul these vehicles. The good part about this is we could actually kill two birds with one stone here and be able to use this
Thanks,
as a
Brandon.
service truck with the solid waste as well. Basically, what I'm looking for today is a dollar amount that you guys would let me get to. Most of these trucks that I'm finding have got anywhere from 100,000 to well over 200,000, and they are still very pricey. The one that I really did kind of take a good look at was a 2011 that was in Idaho that has a new motor, new transmission, basically been completely gone through, but it's got 234,000 miles on it. The asking price is $38,750. So when I'm searching for these, I'm trying to stay under that $40,000 mark. On the service end of it, what we would probably do, or on the service truck end of it, what we would probably do is we would finance for 4 to 5 years and let our CIP pay for it on that end of it for right now. We have missed out on the one that was probably the best buy. It was a 16 that had 95,000 miles on it. Diesel was set up exactly like we're wanting. We are wanting a crane on it just for working on the canisters. I think it'd be very valuable to the solid waste department to have that, to be able to use the crane to lift the lids and so forth. I would rather stay with the diesel just for the power aspect of it. The green pickup that they have over here right now on the maintenance, I'm pretty sure it's on its last legs. when they go to pull anything with it, going up that hill, it's about 25 mile an hour. So, moving forward on that, you're buying yourself a problem if I go into a gas engine.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, let's say we are. You can do it. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
All right. So, here's another thing, 'cause I actually was involved in the junk vehicle program when I worked in Lewis and Clark County. The thing that a lot of folks don't realize is, when you go to pick up these junk vehicles, most of the time they have flat tires.
Yep.
And they need a little bit of loving to get them to come up on the trailer, so having that equipment with you actually makes a pretty big difference,
Yes, it does.
so.
So I'm asking for approval for up to 40,000. Like I said, it'll be paid for out of the CIP, out of junk vehicles.
Okay.
It kind of gives me a ballpark. I do have several pickups that I'm looking at, but it's kind of giving me a ballpark figure to work with from you guys.
What is the amount in the CIP presently?
There's about 30,000 in it right now.
Okay.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
can you make offers on these? I know it's like some of them say price hasn't decreased recently, whatnot. Can you?
That's just like anything else.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
throw it up and offer it, okay.
I'm not gonna go offer a full asking price, no. It's just like if I go to buy
Okay.
my own personal vehicle.
Just checking.
I got my Yarmouth car.
Start wheeling and dealing. I just
Wheeling
wasn't
and
sure.
dealing,
I just
that's what
wasn't
we try
sure
to
how
do.
much.
Trying to get the best price for the best product.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Yes.
The old trucks that you would be getting rid of, would you be getting rid of them? Is there still some life in them, or do they have any value?
So one of the pickups we'd be getting rid of is the 1990 F-350 that is up at the solid waste right now. This would replace that vehicle.
Would you just
Put it
surplus
on.
that then?
Surplus it?
Surplus it?
Is that what, okay.
So you'd have a little recovery there.
We'd have a little
Yeah.
bit, I'm gonna say, best case scenario, 3,500 probably.
Oh,
All right.
that helps.
Any other questions?
I guess I have one more. If we approve the ask of 40,000, do you think that would cover, like you said, probably needs new tires?
Most of the ones I looked at have really good tires on them, surprisingly. I think it would.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we'd want it to show up and be ready to go to work.
Yes,
We don't want to,
absolutely.
we won't be putting money into it,
Okay.
so.
So you're comfortable 40,000 is good.
Mhm.
All right. See how good of a wheeler dealer you are.
You get one shot. Give me your best price.
All right. Okay. Is there a motion to, see up to 40,000?
Up to.
I would move to approve the purchase of a service truck for solid waste up to $40,000.
Junk vehicle.
Junk. CIP. Sorry.
For junk vehicle, okay. I will second that.
I had her.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded to approve request to purchase a junk vehicle, service truck in the amount of up to $40,000. Any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, next, TJ Gravely, hook truck for solid waste.
Commissioners, as you well know, the hook truck that we have is a 2007 Sterling hook truck with over 600,000 miles on it. We have exceeded the useful life of that vehicle by babying it, I guess, and holding it together the best we can with some good service work. Right now, I'm looking to purchase new to us hook truck. So a new hook truck now is anywhere from $259,000 to $330,000 was the last bid I got. With that being said, I have found some down in Brookshire, Texas, which is about 1,800 miles away. It's $1,795 down there. Costs about $3,000 to get it here. There is a place in Salt Lake that is currently building trucks, but they don't have any on their radar right now. There's a place in North Dakota where you guys purchased from originally called Olympus. The only thing they have there is new trucks. Their cheapest truck in there is $259,000, $259,900. So in my mind, I had one picked out and we lost the sale on it because we just weren't active enough, I guess, or somebody wanted it more than we did. But I have found a 2012. I will have the new inventory probably today. He didn't email me last night. This truck down there has got 114,000 miles on it. Purchase price is 178,000. It's set up the way we need it set up. 119,000 miles on the truck. So to me, 119,000 miles on a diesel semi is barely broke in. Useful life, I would say, be 10 years. Minimum of 10 years. The problem with what we're dealing with right now with the Sterling is finding parts for it. We are very limited where we can even get parts, if we can find them at all. And I know this has been a topic of discussion for quite some time, but I think it's time that we act on it and try to find a truck relatively quick. The place in Texas, if we don't have something that fits our eye right now, it takes them about 4 to 6 weeks to build them. Same as with financing. I've talked with Bill a little bit, and we're going to talk again this afternoon. One of the things we can do is an intercap loan, which fits the same time frame as 4 to 6 weeks once approval happens. If we were to purchase, I would keep the Sterling as a backup. I would get rid of the 89 that was purchased 3 years ago, I believe, just to help offset the cost of that. I know what the purchase price was and how much money we've put into that 89 Kenworth, and I don't know if we're going to get our value back out of that truck. I'm going to say best case scenario, we'll get 10,000, 15,000 out of it.
Looks worth that much.
I hope so. It's got new tires on it right now, but they're soon to be switched onto the current hook truck.
Yep.
So there, like I said, there's places in Salt Lake, Texas, Ohio, and North Dakota that will build these trucks. The North Dakota one, like I said, is all new trucks. As far as renting trucks, that doesn't happen in the hook truck world that I can find anyway. If there is, it might be on the eastern seaboard, but around the western part of the United States, I'm not finding anything. So what I'm asking for approval for is a dollar amount in between $175,000 and $200,000 that I could go up to. I don't foresee us having a problem paying for it. If you guys remember looking at the solid waste budget, there was $204,000, I believe.
It was revised, but 204,000 is set aside.
Set aside, which I don't want to take it out of that. If I can help it,
But that,
it would help.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
the
Yes,
200, I'm Bill Giracchi, I'm the County Administrative Officer. The 204,000 is for all of your equipment, not just the hook trucks. So you're going to be setting aside money from user charges for the wear and tear on everything you're doing
Right.
with that money. I might add that the budget that you had for hook trucks in this first year is to purchase up to $287,000 worth of hook trucks. That's what we budgeted. And that would give you a brand-new hook truck with 15-year useful life calculated. So the algorithm changes if you go with a hook truck that has 10-year useful life, the costs a lot less. It just changes the numbers, probably to our benefit in the long run.
Mr. Chair, can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
You budgeted that separately from the CIP.
Pardon me?
You budgeted that separately from the CIP.
No, that's it. That is the CIP. I mean, well, it is separate from the CIP. It is the depreciation costs on all of the equipment. We use that. We use the depreciation charges annually to basically replenish all the rolling stock over time.
Right.
The CIP has $79,000 in it right now.
$78,000.
79 odd amount.
So that's the only money available. There's not a separate line item budgeted for a hook truck specifically, right? It's just strictly in the CIP.
Yeah, there is. It's
204,000.
204,000
Yeah.
is what we set on.
I think something to remember too is we're not going to do a total outlay.
No,
So
Correct.
Right.
we will be financing this,
Right,
and your
right.
annual payment will definitely fall within the range that you have set for.
so I did some quick numbers on that. On a used truck, I can get 7 years, 5.75. So you're looking at 41,000 roughly,
Yeah.
a year.
You get a 7-year amortization period on a used truck, is that what you said? Is that under the state program? Is that
Under this intercap loan.
Intercap? Intercap gives 7 years? Okay, so
That's as far as they'll go on a used truck.
okay, so everybody, just so you, I have to do the calculations, but what we've done is we have a slightly cheaper truck where we have to pay it back in half the time. And so the amount of money you need each year is probably going to be higher than what you had already budgeted for a new truck on an annual basis. Because the new truck is amortized over 15 years.
Right.
If you do 7 years for a truck that's more than half of that money, you're going to pay more for that share of the dollars you need for ongoing replacement of the vehicle. So you're going to exceed your budgeted expense for depreciation under that scheme.
So are you better off to buy a new?
Not necessarily, no.
Okay.
I mean, we have lots of options along the way. I mean, as our CIP increases, we can always pay our loan down or pay it off early, so.
I might, Mr. Chairman, I want to add that I haven't heard back from Opportunity Bank yet because the plan that we had with them was to set up a line of credit where where we would determine what the amortization period is for each one of the pieces of equipment we buy. So that's kind of an innovative mechanism. Maybe we haven't heard from them because they're not willing to do that innovation. So if you have to go to conventional financing and they're looking at 7-year payback periods, it just changes the calculus, but we may be able to get it done.
Sure. Yeah.
I want to add one more point just to make it even more difficult to understand. All of our calculations are based on this idea. When we buy something, whether it's new or used, we are also saving the money to replace it at the end of that amortization period. So that amount doubles because you're not saving over 15 years, you're saving over 7. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I think-
you're assuming that the life of that truck's only 7 years. And
Yeah, That's
It'll-
correct.
it'll-
So-
It'll be longer than 7 years.
That's exactly, so we can build that into the calculus. In other words, you have a useful life that's longer than your payback period. Then you get to bank the money you otherwise would be paying back on a loan for whatever that useful life is. And so when TJ and I were walking over here today, I said, well, how long would one of these last? Maybe the used hook truck lasts 15 years. We've certainly been able to get our 89 hook truck to last, what, 35 years?
No, the 89 we have not, because that was purchased 3 years ago.
Okay, so,
Still waiting.
2007, yes.
Yeah.
We've exceeded the useful life of that.
right, we purchased the 89 more recently, but it was built in 89, and it's still running after 35.
Knock on wood.
Just barely running, and, you know, shedding parts as it goes. You know. So anyway, I can run the calculus, and we can probably make it fit. I just wanted you to be aware of that.
Yeah, that sounds good. It sounds like we have a little bit of time, by the time we make our application for the intercap loan, and maybe something will happen with Opportunity Bank in the meantime, but,
I did start the process on the intercap loan. I haven't submitted it yet. I got about halfway through it, and I called Bill
sure.
and wanted to talk to him, and we'll meet this afternoon and kind of run some numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think getting the process going, whichever way that we end up going, is what's important.
Right.
The longer we wait,
We've already missed out on 2,
yep,
probably deals of a lifetime is what I'd say.
yeah, all right. Very good.
So to be clear, are we still asking, you're asking is still 175 to 200? Okay.
I would just say you could just make a request up to 200.
Up to 200.
Okay.
My motion.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Mr. Chairman, what was the upper amount that you gave just now?
200.
200.
203.
200,000.
May I ask why you wouldn't just give the amount that we had budgeted, which is 287?
I don't know. I can't bring myself to paying $280,000 for a new truck.
Okay.
I just don't think that's in our best interests of our solid waste department and our citizens.
There's good used trucks out there.
There we are.
But you have to spend the time finding them.
Right. Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. I've got a pretty good lead on some down in Texas right now.
I would urge you to look at Boise, Idaho. I don't know if you have, but I know there used to be a good turnover of good trucks.
The only thing that I found out of Boise was service trucks. I've not found
Okay.
any
Yeah, I don't know
hook
about it.
trucks down there.
Okay,
I'll look, yeah.
yeah.
So when I search the whole United
Okay.
States is how I'm searching.
There's just a pretty big market down there.
All right, anything else? All right, is there a motion?
I move to approve up to $200,000 for Public Works hook truck. Do you want something more specific? Okay.
I will second that.
Motion been made and seconded to approve a request for the purchase of a used hook truck for the amount of up to $200,000. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You know, I was just sitting here thinking, Ed, you're always looking at equipment around the nation too, so you might be a resource for TJ if you come across something. If you come across something, yeah. So, all right, thank you.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you, TJ.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. next on our agenda is Cole Brown, Community Development and Planning Director, Hazen Boundary Location Number 1. And at the request of the applicant, they have asked to move it to next week. Is that correct?
Chairman Folkford, Nicole Brown, Broadwater County Community Development Director. That is correct. Mr. Hazeman asked to have this meeting postponed.
Okay. Very good. Next on our agenda then will be the Vandenacre mortgage exemption.
All right, Commissioners, you should be in receipt of the Vandenacre Mortgage Tract Exemption Request Affidavit form, as well as the certificate of survey for this proposed mortgage exemption. You should also have a copy of the letter from the lending institution requesting this mortgage survey. And just to give just a brief overview on what a mortgage exemption is, essentially a mortgage exemption is good for the life of a mortgage. So at the request of a lending institution, a surveyor and the landowner can put forth this mortgage tract. This mortgage tract is only good for the life of the loan. Once the loan is satisfied, these lot lines disappear. So this is only for bank purposes.
Okay.
So with that, I would like to read the staff report into the record. I should also note all of these documents have been posted on our Broadwater County website for the public's review. So this is the staff report for the mortgage exemption for the Vandenacre Mortgage Tract to the Broadwater County Commissioners from myself. The date of this report was September 16th, and the deadline for the Commissioners to take action is October 7th of 2024. Excuse me. The applicants are John and Donna Vandenacre of Townsend, Montana. Executive summary. The exemption request as presented to the Broadwater County Commissioners is a proposal to create a tract for mortgage purposes. Currently, the Vandenacres own the 7th amended Tract A2. At the request of their lending institution, they are requesting to create a 20-acre mortgage tract to be identified as Tract M. In Broadwater County, all mortgage tracts are identified as Tract M to differentiate them from any saleable parcels. Mortgage exemption statutes. Montana Code Annotated MCA 763201-1B provides for exemptions created to provide security for mortgages, liens, or trust indentures for the purpose of construction, improvements to the land being divided, and refinancing purposes. Montana Code Annotated 764103 provides sanitation exemptions for parcels greater than 20 acres in size, exclusive of public roadways, are not subject to Department of Environmental Quality or DEQ review. Request. The owners of the parcels are requesting approval of the use of the mortgage exemption to establish a parcel 20 acres in size surrounding their home for lending purposes. Since mortgage tracts cannot be identified nor sold as a separate tract, no deed will be created. Location. The property is located south of White Horse Road in Section 10, Township 7 North, Range 1 East. Existing development and uses. The 280.01 acre tract is currently utilized for agricultural purposes with one home site. Adjacent land use to the north is residential. To the east is residential subdivision and agricultural. To the south is residential subdivision and agricultural. And to the west is United States of America public lands. Project uses for wastewater. The parcel is and will continue to be subject to review and approval from the Environmental Health Office and subject to 1736-9 of the Administrative Rules of Montana, or ARM, hereby possibly not mitigating impacts to adjacent properties. Only one septic system is installed on the property. Since no new parcels nor structures are being proposed, there will be no additional review required by the Broadwater County Environmental Health Officer other than to ensure the appropriate sanitation exemptions are cited on the proposed COS. Access. The property is located directly south of White Horse Road. Since White Horse Road is not a county road, no approach permits are required. However, since no new approaches are being proposed, this is not a consideration for this exemption request. Water. One residential well is located on this property. Public health and safety. The proposed exemption should have minimal effect on public health and safety since no new structures are being constructed on the parcel. However, it is important to note that Montana Rail Links Railway runs directly parallel to this parcel on the west boundary, which could pose a hazard to humans and animals. Conclusion. pursuant to 76.32011 MCA, which states, unless the method of disposition is adopted for the purpose of evading this chapter, the requirements of this chapter may not apply to any division of land that b. subject to subsection 4 is created to provide security for mortgages, liens, or trust indentures for the purpose of construction, improvements to the land being divided, or refinancing purposes. Number 4 states an exemption under subsection 1b applies, b, if the land that is divided is not conveyed to any entity other than the financial or lending institution to which the mortgage, lien, or trust indenture was given, or to a purchaser upon foreclosure of the mortgage, lien, or trust indenture. This proposed mortgage tract could only become a standalone, saleable parcel should the Vanden Acres default on the mortgage, and the 20-acre tract would become the property of the lending institution. Otherwise, the mortgage tract lot lines would be eliminated once their mortgage is satisfied. There is an existing 30-foot wide public access and utility easement along the northern boundary of this parcel. This easement is identified as White Horse Road and 60 feet wide, 30 feet either side of the center line of the roadway, and is first depicted in COS Book 2, page 627. There is a 60-foot wide public access easement from White Horse Road, that should say to, the home site, on the proposed Tract M being created by this survey. There is also a 60-foot wide public access easement, identified as Easement 2, running within the boundaries of Tract M, along the entire west boundary from north to south. This easement is being created by this survey. It is unknown what the purpose of this easement is. And that concludes my report.
All right. Couple questions. I guess so. So the current access that accesses the tract, they just have made that now a public access easement. Is that correct? Is that how I'm reading that?
Commissioner Fulford, that is what it appears to me, yes.
Okay. And I guess the question is, and I have to ask, why was there a 50-foot public access easement made on the west side of the property? Has anybody indicated to you what that for?
Commissioner Fulford?
Yeah.
In response to your question, I do not have an answer. However, Bernadette Swenson, representing the landowners, is present today, and I believe that would be a better question for Bernadette, representing the landowners and the surveyor.
All right. Any other questions for Nicole while she's here?
Not right now.
Is this the one you're referring to?
Yeah. Well, that's
No.
the one that
No.
one on the right, that one there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Yeah.
on M, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So it looks like the current driveway that was to the place has now become a public access easement
Yes, that was my other question.
with the addition of the one on the west side of the created tract. Okay. I guess no other questions for you, Nicole? Morning, Bernadette. Are you the representative?
Good morning, Bernadette Swenson, Swenson. I'm sorry, what was your specific question?
I guess it's creating a 60-foot wide public access easement on the west side of the property, that's not very typical, so that's my question.
On the west side of the property.
On a tract that's out in the middle of a 280-acre field.
Tract M.
On tract M.
Yeah,
I'm
the
sorry.
west side
The
of
mortgage
Tract
tract.
M.
Oh, okay,
right
that-
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mortgage.
I know specifically, when they did this, they wanted to cover all bases. You never know what happens in the future, and that's their driveway and goes through the property. So I know from the examining land surveyor, questioned why the easement went on through the property and out the east boundary. And I believe the same thing with it on the west boundary. They have access around, And the Vandenakers just thought if, you know, you never know what would happen. If something were to happen that they defaulted on this loan, they didn't want access from the rest of their property and their agricultural uses with the barns and farms and that sort of thing. So they had decided to do that to cover all bases. You know, they don't want to see public driving up and down there, but I think with some of their history in the past with accident, you know, her husband and all, you know, they just were a little gun shy, and they've also ran into easement situations on the southerly end of their property. So just with all of that history added together, that was their choice to do that, just to cover all bases.
Okay, good. Yeah, I kind of went out and looked at it a little bit, and their current easement does go down to their barn and stuff like that.
Right.
And I understand that. That's a good explanation, honestly. That looking into the future, if something did happen, they would still have access to that piece of property.
Yeah, and the reason to do, well, the bank doesn't want a mortgage on the whole 280 acres,
Right.
but, you know, they have no intentions of losing their home.
No. But it's just, you know, I understand looking forward to.
Right. So I just think they were just a little gun shy and trying to cover all bases so that, you know, they didn't lose access to their barns and stuff.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough.
Any other questions?
Satisfied me. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Anything else for Bernadette while you guys are here?
Thank you.
I don't think I've ever seen a 7th amended tract before since that.
Yeah, I agree with you there 100%. It's one of those things, do you give it new names or do you show a history?
Right, and I appreciate that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was a typo.
Any other comments or questions from the commission? For Nicole? No?
I don't have any.
No.
Mr. Chairman.
All right. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the Vandenaker mortgage exemption.
I will second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the Vandenacre mortgage exemption. Is there any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All righty.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nicole.
All right, we have some mail. Thank you, Bernadette.
Thank you.
Some mail and some minutes to approve. Let's go with minutes first. We got quite a few. It always happens a lot when we're gone. We've been gone for a week and we're catching up with some of our stuff that we didn't get done last week. Anyway, we have minutes from August 14th and the 22nd, and also minutes from September 4th and September 9th.
I move to approve minutes from August 14th, August 22nd, September 4th, and September 9th.
Actually, it's August 21st.
That's what I was just looking at.
Oh,
I think it's the
21st. Okay.
21st.
And I might have said that wrong. I'm sorry if I did.
It's all right. It's all right. I can move to approve minutes from August 14th, August 21st, September 4th, and September 9th.
I will second that.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes from August 14th and the 21st, September 4th, and September 9th. Any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And it's worth noting that the minutes from August 28th are still under review. You gotta have a little pink
Oh.
paper clip.
Okay, so these this one.
Alrighty, on to claims. Spend some money, huh? Wow, right off the bat. Claims the amount of $75,301.53.
I would move to approve the claims in the amount of $75,301.53.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve claims the amount of $75,301.53. Any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Claims in the amount of $48,293.86.
I move to approve claims for $48,293.86.
I'll second that motion.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve claims the amount of $48,293.86. Any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, claims in the amount of $170,392.43.
Move to approve the claims in the amount of $170,392.43.
I will second that.
Motion made and seconded to approve claims in the amount of $170,392.43. Any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, claims in the amount of $41,587.64.
I move to approve claims for $41,587.64.
Second that?
Motion made and seconded to approve claims in the amount of $41,587.64. Any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Okay, payroll in the amount of $292,935.19.
I would move to approve the claims, payroll claims in the amount of $292,935.19.
Second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve payroll in the amount of $292,935.19. Any public comment? Any public comment? Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we have received $170,061.28 from our FY 24-25 entitlement share into the Treasury. A letter from the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, notice of availability of final environmental assessment. And this would be for the Broadwater Hydroelectric Project located on the Missouri River. Anyone that has an interest in that, this will be in our office for your review. And this one here is kind of an important document that we have received from FEMA. And it is, I'll just read what it's about. It says, on September 26, 2024, the Department of Homeland Security's Federal Emergency Management Agency issued new or revised flood insurance rate map panels within your community. This letter identifies the letter of map change actions, letter of map amendments, and letter of map revisions for properties or structures located in your community that are still valid as of the effective date shown above. Any revalidation letters previously issued for your community have been superseded as the effective date listed above. And all those revisions are listed in this document. This document will probably be on file in our planning office. And we haven't decided if this needs to be recorded, have we, Angie?
Yeah. I can do some research.
Yeah, but it is an important document for, we do have these cases come up every now and then where people desire to build in the floodplain area and they need to know exactly where those have been designated at.
It'd be a good idea to record.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Do they post, does the agency put this on their
You already seen
website
it.
at all? I don't know.
I don't know if it is or not, but
Because I know a lot of floodplains have changed this
Mhm.
year for people.
would we have a floodplain on our website? I think that we do, don't we? Is there a little floodplain block out of community
I can't
development?
remember, I'd have to look.
If not, we probably should put that in there, and then, I know those maps are all available. Our floodplain administrator is Jerry Grabentz from Great West Engineering. And, so, if you have any interest in that, that's where that information's out. Anything else for the good of the order for the commission?
I don't have anything.
No?
I was gonna just remind, if anybody's listening, Fall Fest is coming up.
Oh, yeah.
They need help, they need some more volunteers. I noticed some more slots got filled, but please contact Rotary or go to Sign Up Genius, and they have everything under Townsend's Fall Fest, and you can sign up for different things. But it's an awesome event for our community. Please take part.
Okay, good. Next week is going to be a busy week for the commission. We have a lot of subdivision to work on Monday. There'll be a public meeting. And we're going to do some more on Wednesday morning. And then, as Commissioner Randolph mentioned, we have our evening meeting out at the south end of the county. So it's going to be a busy week for us and our staff.
Yes.
Anyway, if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and adjourn our meeting. 11:12.